Damn, son, where'd you find this? Chair of rust, says she wants to quit, but can't betray the dust. Come back, world, or are you already gone? Come back, world, or are you already gone? She loves the mountain light, can sweep the ocean floor from the feeling she gets walking out the door. Come back, world, or are you already gone? Come back, world, or are you already gone? you have to leave this world behind if you break it. You can't get off the ground, it's a love like loving. Everyone's a hypocrite, the promise there's something hard to find to make it. You have to leave this world behind if you break it. You can't get off the ground, it's a love like running from anything significant. Can't you ride? Can't you ride? Can't you ride a satellite tonight? 'Cause it don't feel right when you're leaving, when you're leaving. 'Cause it don't feel right when you're leaving. 'Cause it don't feel right when you're leaving.
Joseph Arthur live here on the morning show. Man, every time I see you play live, it's just a joy to see you multitask over there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing you I've mentioned this before, but I remember seeing the first time. I was a very young buck back in late 90s when you were playing Big City Secrets.
Yeah, I was at the place called the Baltic Room.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I used to do a residency there.
Yeah.
So very early on, I had an affinity with Seattle for some reason.
I was going to say, it's a bit of a home away from home.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and we always have you by, too.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, you said you came from Denver.
Right.
So you're early in this tour.
Very early, yeah. So I'm still finding my sea legs, but there's hopefully some excitement in that, watching somebody who doesn't have it quite totally dialed in, but
well, you're doing a lot of things, Joseph.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a lot to remember.
For people who don't follow you, you got a lot going on.
That's true.
And I have watched you transform in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
On social media.
That's right.
And I wanted to. I was like, I got to talk to Joseph about all this.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be in soon, and you are.
Yeah.
But man, you put my exercise routine to shame.
Yeah, that's like, well, appreciate you saying that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a lot of overcoming a lot of stuff. I think, like, in this day and age, a lot of us are waking up to new dimensions and just new realities, and how maybe some of the dysfunction in our life is being called out by the universe and by others, and just... I started working out that heavily because I was dealing with, like, recovering from some serious traumatic stuff in my life, and it turned into a gift, you know, because I think you can kind of, you know, an artist is someone who tries to redeem every situation, you know, and usually the redemption of the situation is a piece of artwork or art, you know. But in this case, I needed to make a more, like, whole change in my being, you know, and getting into exercise and meditation has been awesome in that way.
Was it running that got you? Was it, I see you run, you do yoga, you do boxing?
Boxing was the main thing I fell in love with.
Yeah.
I mean, I really started boxing and really, really, you know, instantly dreamed of becoming a professional. Like, which I might be a little long in the tooth for that, you know?
Sure.
I've sort of toned my dreams down a little bit. I ended up injuring my hand and got into yoga because I needed the, you know, heavily disciplined workout routine just to keep, I mean, it's really for the mind.
Yes.
You know, it's like you wake up and, you know, I don't know what, I have a song called Your History is Your Gravity, but, like, you know, the gravity of your being, at least mine, doesn't tend to waking up into, like, this really, like, great space. I mean, if I'm just left to my own devices, I'll, like, sink into some, you know, pretty dark places. So I force myself to go on a run or go do yoga or something like that, and then put a meditation in, like the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And that's a great prayer and mantra for forgiveness and redemption, and also taking full responsibility for everything in your life. If you've been traumatized by others or anything like that, it's an excellent device to forgive them within yourself and also own everything that enters your field of consciousness.
When you
We're getting heavy in the morning.
We're only one song in, too.
Yeah.
When you are on the road, which you find yourself on, do you find it harder to be disciplined because you don't have like maybe a regular place to practice or a regular place to run, or do you find it kind of a challenge in a good way? I find it to be a challenge. Like when I'm a runner and I do yoga and meditate. And
you run marathons, though, dude. So talk about, you were giving me a lot of hype with the putting your thing to shame, because you're like actually a gifted marathoner.
Well, I was talking to our mutual friend Elena.
Yeah.
She was saying, Joseph, he has to put in like 30 miles a week, and I said, I put about that in, but
easily.
But you're boxing and doing yoga.
Yeah, and I don't put 30 in a week. I did this thing the last 2 months, which was 100 miles in September, and I did 100 miles in August. But that's the total of the month, which was a lot, Yeah. It was enough.
It's close. Yeah.
I'm not doing it this month, let's put it that way. I've been on the tour's been like 3 days. I've been on one run, and I've gone to my second yoga class yesterday in Seattle. So I get in, and it's like yoga near me. And it's a challenge. And I just look at that like it's fun. Even walking through the airport with all this gear, I was like, just into the moment of it, because I've gone through a lot of phases where I haven't been coming to KEXP to play my music, and it's like getting to be able to do this far on in my career, or whatever you want to call it, existence. One of the great benefits is just being grateful for it in the moment, rather than it being a means to an end.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
I like hearing that.
But how many marathons have you run?
2. Well, I've been 2.
That's a fun.
I did like
amazing.
I do a lot of the halves, but then I did New York. So that was the most New York experience I've ever experienced.
It gets none more New York.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. When they said, they're going to be people along the way, 10 people thick, and they're going to be cheering. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What was your time? Your time was off the hook.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was 3:57 and 42 seconds. I'm not saying
that's
that
off the hook.
I can remember it exactly, but that was pretty good. Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah, man. But that's when you talk about the mind and what exercise, that's why I did it. And I didn't realize it was helping me with my depression and anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Until I realized when I stop. Yeah. And I'm not running, and I'm not in this moving meditation. I'm in trouble.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel like the temperature of the whole world means we all have to become warriors. I really believe that. And like Bob Dylan said, you're busy being born or you're busy dying. Yeah. It's like you got to be busy being born. There's no neutral. There's no like I'm just on pause. That doesn't exist.
Well, there's a reason we get along. I couldn't agree more. All right.
Yeah. Well, and I was supposed to run that marathon with you for some reason.
You were going to run it.
Yeah, there was a thing.
There was a thing.
I'm going to do it with you, though.
All right.
Let's do one.
All right. What you want to do next year?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think we got to. I think to get in this time, we got to raise some money. So that'll be a nice challenge.
Let's raise money. How about right now? We do have the ear of a lot of people.
That's all right. We're in. All right, you heard it here. Right. We're going to run next year.
Yeah.
Not this year. It's coming up in just a few weeks. All right. We have another one from Joseph Arthur live here on the Morning Show. The new album is Comeback World. It's out tomorrow. Congratulations. Playing tonight at the Triple Door.
Triple Door.
And tomorrow in my hood, you'll be up at Easy Street Records.
That's right. In store, 7 p.m.
So there you go. Many chances to see Joseph here in Seattle, and another song from the new album live here on the Morning Show.
like a tape for you to rewind. And if you're downtown, keep it light. You might be out with the nefarious types who beat you out when you're out of sight. Team up with the demons you fight, so at the next street, take a ride. Keep the engine running, turn out the lights, I'll be right back out of sight. To run for cover from the darkness tonight. 'Cause you know, oh, it's not love they want, it's the show. Don't know what you've done. Was it worth it? What you've done? Don't know what you've done. Was it worth it? What you've done? Don't let them in your head, or pour their dark energies into you until you're dead. And if you're downtown, keep it light. You might be out with the nefarious types who bleed you out when you're out of sight. Teaming up with the demons you fight, so at the next street, take a ride. Keep the engine running, turn out the lights, I'll be right back out of sight. To run for cover from the darkness tonight. 'Cause you know now, baby, you know, oh, it's not love they want, it's the show. Yeah, anything you want, seek and find. Oh, anything you want, it's your time. Anything you want, seek and find. Oh, anything you want, it's your time.
Joseph Arthur live here on The Morning Show. Come Back World, the new album out tomorrow. Triple Door tonight, Easy Street tomorrow. So we get you for a few days here in Seattle. Then then what? Yeah, how much you doing on the road?
Then Portland, and then LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Tucson, Texas, Austin.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty full on. 3 or 6 weeks. And I started a podcast, too, as a plug.
I was going to ask you about that. You're on the other side of the interviews when you come in.
That's right.
Now you are the interviewer.
It's more comfortable. What do you think?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Come to Where I'm From.
Yeah. Talk about some of the people you've had on.
Mark Lanigan was a great one for us. And, it was like 2.5 hours at his house. Just lots of laughs with him, which was not what we were expecting. He's intimidating.
He is intimidating.
But he's super sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, and Michael Imperielli was another really good one. Christopher from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rosanna Arquette's been on.
What's the... tell people what sort of the vision or the mission of this podcast is.
Well, I like to talk about all these things, like all these recovery-based things and recovering from MPD abuse and all that kind of stuff. and yoga. Those are my passions, you know, but it ends up being a lot of musicians and artists. And so we talk about music a lot.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we're kind of a music-based podcast to a degree, but we want it to be very open. I mean, we had Philippe Petit on, the guy who did the Twin Towers, walked on the high wire.
Yeah, how was that?
It was amazing. We went up to Woodstock. And
was there something you wanted to ask him more than any?
Yeah, I mean, he's just, you know, just like being fearless and all that, and staying inspired. I mean, he's like, you know, he's working on juggling upstate and taking notes about little improvements he makes even to this day. Like he spends his days being. I like to find out the sort of the nature of people's relationship to enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know, because everything takes enthusiasm and energy.
What do you think it was? And some people have that. And do you think everybody has it, and they just those who aren't can't find it, or that just the situation in life maybe is so heavy that you can't find it, or do you think some people are born with it and some aren't?
I think some people divorce themselves from their authentic self quite young and create a false reality, and then that reality, that persona needs to feed off the energy of others, and so they shift into that mode. Wow. And then I know it's a little dark, I guess. Yeah. But it's happens to be something that happens when humans. You know, I think, and y'all know what I'm talking about. No, but so I think they're very creative about the way that goes down. So I think everybody is creative. I think to be a human being is to be a creative entity. I mean, we're made in the image of God and creative as well. Do you think? So I don't think anybody gets left out, but I think some people leave themselves out, and I don't necessarily blame them for it because I don't understand the mechanics of it, but it's just something that tragically happens, and I think a lot of people are waking up to this dynamic, and hopefully a major shift will occur.
You know, sometimes I feel like humanity or humans in general, they have to hit bottom in some ways, or they have to hit a tough point in your life. Have you? For you, did you have to hit a point in your life?
I've hit my bottom had a trap door. And then that other thing had a trap door too. I mean, yeah, it's a series of bottoms, you know? Hey,
do you find
it's a series of no.
Well, now I don't know how to follow that up.
Yeah.
Did that help you to?
Not all bottoms are bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you find that, though, looking back, that you had to hit that, or do you think you could have found this without having to hit that?
No, I mean, it's like no, because you're asleep until you're awake, and then you're awake, and then you're only awake as insofar as how much you've woken up, and so you're still asleep in other ways, you know. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, man, I don't understand the nature of reality or why it operates the way it does. I do know that this is like some kind of testing ground, this place, and some kind of place, you know, to where we're supposed to learn and strive towards our potential. Who's to say why, but...
Or who's to say you've hit it?
Oh, I hope I haven't hit it.
Do you want to hit it in different, clearly in different ways? I mean, you make art, and you are now having conversations with people and putting that out in the world. Your music clearly is a big part of your life. Yeah. Do you find it clearly in multiple ways, or do you feel like there's a certain path through music or through talk? Or do you think is it centered, or do you think just trying all these different things is part of your journey?
Well, yeah, it all feeds into itself, you know, like the sort of the thing that we can all be broadcasters now. It seems like a lot of us are being called to like just get our voices out there, and so you have to find a format to do that in, and so podcasting seems like a really good one. And it totally relates to music. I mean, we had Stu because we stacked enough episodes to where I'm gone for 6 weeks, but we're still doing 2 every week we drop. Yeah. And we had Stu and the Negro Problem who's just an amazing songwriter and band, and he was talking about converting Passing Strange into a musical, and then he was teaching classes on how rock musicians can turn their thing into like Broadway musicals or just musicals. And I was like, hey man, I have this album called The Ballad of Boogie Christ that I've been dying to turn into a musical. But and he's like, just find somebody like a band to help you. And I called, I called up, or I texted Michael Imperioli, who wrote a great new novel, and he's written screenplays. And I sent him the record. I'm like, hey, can you help me make a narrative around this? And he's like, and he was like, yeah, let me check it out. I mean, he hasn't committed to doing it, but he's into it, and he's listening to the songs and texting me stuff. So it's like that all of a sudden, just based on those two podcasts, it's like kind of like a whole new form of creativity opens up. So things open, if you take chances and do things out of your comfort zone, then new creativity opens up in ways that you could not have foreseen.
Yeah, wasn't that Bowie? It's like, if you're not feeling uncomfortable, you're not being creative. Like,
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, and Bowie, like because he made all his albums were like musicals, and but he never made them into a musical.
Yeah.
So that conversion is difficult. If a guy like Bowie didn't even do that.
Well, they did the Black Star at the end of his life too. Like that to me was I mean, just even at the end of his life.
No, it's like it's crazy. His dedication to expression.
Yeah. Wow.
All the way to the very end.
All the way to the very end.
Like,
it's a lesson there. All right.
It is.
Joseph Others here. You got a song called Mayor of the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
And do you identify who that is?
Well, I was originally inspired by Jesse Malin, who has.
I thought it might be.
Yeah, and because he has like some clubs around the East Village, like Bowery Electric and a few others, and I just thought that, hey, that's that spirit of CBGB's. I mean, it's people will be like, oh, it's not it's not CBGB's, but it's that spirit. And so I was kind of like thinking, oh, you're the mayor, and then I mean, it's not directly about him. I once that was the inspiration, and then I broadened it out, to where it's more open as to who it's about.
Cool. Mayor of the Lower East Side from the new album Comeback World from Joseph Arthur.
days only seem to repeat.
one-man band, Joseph Arthur here on KEXP. God, that was great, man.
Thanks so much.
I lived in the Lower East Side for a few years.
Do you miss it?
Very much so. I had some of my highest highs and lowest lows in that time. Very New York.
Oh yeah. What year was it?
09, 8, 7, 8, somewhere in there.
How does Seattle compare?
Well, now it compares more in just the changing of the city was so much. Even then in New York,
Right.
and even more so now. I've been back in that area, and it's changed quite a bit. And you come here to Seattle, you go to neighborhoods, and it's a different city. But it's hard to have kids there. That was a big part of it. But
yeah, definitely. But this city is super high end now too.
New York,
expense-wise, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone, if New York is such a life. It's not.
Well, it's the emotion on the street. I always tell people that it's all about the emotion of the place. Yeah. It's the most emotional place. That's why I resonate with it, because it's super emotional. You just walk down the street and there's like 400 emotions that you're confronted with. Whereas in most cities, you're in a car and you're isolated.
I'd get back and be like, I hate this place. It's so hot. I can't stand. And then the next one, I'm like, this is the greatest city I've ever been to in my entire life.
Yeah, I still love it.
Yeah,
I really do.
I managed to be divorced in my first few weeks of moving there, and by the time I left, I was engaged. All in the Lower East.
And you want to say that live on radio?
Yes, all,
that's cool.
all in a 6-block radius.
I can understand that.
In New York.
Yeah, you can fall in love 300 times a day, basically.
That's how it goes in New York.
Kind of on planet Earth, I find, though.
Yeah.
But yes, more intensely there, I would say. Yeah.
How do you like it there?
I love it because I have I live in an apartment. It's a little bit on the small side in terms of that. I wish I had more space to spread out.
What part of New York?
I live in the East Village.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on Avenue A. Just like the song says.
Yeah, we're off B.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I go to a yoga studio a lot and go boxing and I can run on the East River.
Yeah.
So you expand the size of it, by the activities you get involved in. You push yourself out there.
You kind of have to.
I feel like I'm doing a self-help sermon.
Oh, you're helping me. Joseph Arthur's here again. He's plays tonight, Triple Door. Tomorrow, Easy Street Records. The new record is out tomorrow.
Come Back World.
You got one more.
Okay.
All right.
It's called Pale Fire. ever deceived you. Yeah, yeah. Fortune for the brave, while you swim in shallow waters. Fortune for the brave, give me back my pale fire. Fortune for the brave, while you swim in shallow waters. Fortune for the brave, give me back my pale fire. On my way to hell, somehow I got free. I was underneath a spell when she said this to me. She said, let's get the waitress, I think you need a cup of tea. Just remember, you're in the matrix, and it's on you to set them free. Well, you see that spider on that neon web? Well, it's not there at all, anywhere but in your head. What's up is down, and what's down is up. Well, the choice is up to you, my friend. I left the red pill by your cup. Let's get the waitress, pay the check, the meal is done. Just remember, you're in the matrix. And baby, you're the one. So go back now to your roots. I mean the ones before your life even began. Back when you were just pale fire, jumping from a distant star to another lane. Yeah, yeah. Fortune for the brave, while you swim in shallow waters. Fortune for the brave, give me back my pale fire. Fortune for the brave, while you swim in shallow waters. Fortune for the brave, give me back my pale fire.
You done?
I don't know, man.
Do you want to?
I messed up the end.
Okay. Do you want to do the end again?
Oh, I can punch it in?
Yeah, punch it in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I can't believe I messed up the end.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. You know.
It's because I took the capo off.
It looked like you purposely took it off.
Huh?
You forcefully threw it to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, so it ends on a B.
Okay. We'll just edit this later.
Oh, yeah? Oh, no, it'd be... Okay.
Yeah.
That sucked.
No, I thought you had it.
Yeah?
There you go.
That was better.
That was much better ending.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do this in post-production. We'll clean this all up.
Did you guys clean that
good
up?
thing this wasn't live.
So that was live.
No, yeah.
It was
sorry.
live on the radio.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't tell you.
I totally forgot that.
Well, maybe-
So we just did that all on the radio?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Good work.
That's so funny.
Well, we want to get it right. Joseph Arthur.
Hopefully that was entertaining. Like, that was like some meta type stuff.
Well, you already set it up earlier. You said you're early in your tour. You're getting your legs.
Yeah.
We're helping you out here at KEXP.
Yeah.
That's what we do, man.
Well, like Miles Davis said, it's like, you know, it's not performing, it's rehearsing in front of people.
That's very well said.
But, you know.
Have fun at the Triple Door.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and tomorrow again at Easy Street Records. That is 7 o'clock. Easy Street, free, open to the public. See Joseph play. Got the record with you, I'm sure, at the Easy Street.
Yeah,
Or they
definitely. Yeah, well, it's out tomorrow, so.
Yeah, congratulations, Comeback World, the name of it.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, man.
Really good to see you, and let's
Yeah.
definitely do a marathon.
Okay, if you do that,
The most I've ever run is like 13 miles.
oh, you can do it.
Yeah, I
You
think
just
so.
got to ease it up, just slowly.
Yeah, I could do it.
You gotta
I'm
get
not
to
gonna,
about-
You're going to pass me, but that's okay. I'll let my ego take that one.
I will look into boxing if you
okay.
if you look into the marathon.
That sounds
Is that
good.
a deal? All
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
So tell me where I can go box in West Seattle because I need to find some more now. Because then we'll fight later. It's going to be fun.
Well, we could spar.
We'll spar.
We can keep it light.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Midday show is happening as we speak, so we're going to turn it over to Cheryl Waters now. Thanks, Joseph. And
Thank you.
thanks to everybody who listens to and supports KEXP. Without you,
Bye.
there's no sessions with Joseph Arthur. It's KEXP Seattle.
Thanks for the support.
Discover great music at KEXP.org.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?